This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
There aren't many shows that I can say that I've watched every single episode. Like, there really aren't that many. I mean, when I think Homeland is one of them, reality shows, a lot of them, but Catfish was something that I watched from the beginning, even back to the documentary, but also with my kids. And it was
you were
like
an early adopter.
It was the thing we did. Like Friday night, when the girls were over, we would watch Catfish and talk about it and talk about how that's out there in the world. And please welcome, first time meeting you, Neve. Great to meet you, Neve Shulman.
Hello.
Dude, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, you must have been using TiVo or something, because the show was usually on Tuesday night.
No, we taped it and watched when I was divorced. I was divorced at the time.
Okay, so you had them on the weekends. Got it.
On the weekends, and that was our thing. We would reel off some Catfish. We have a few things going on. A very special someone that we're going to introduce you to, that Neve has introduced to the world, that you'll meet. Yes. That's here in Atlanta, by the way, in just a few minutes. But Neve, what the hell with Catfish going away?
Oh.
Well, okay, first of all, look, it went on as long as, or longer than I could have ever hoped, right? I mean, we had 12 years of that show and over, I think, roughly 300 episodes. So I think it had a great run. I obviously was sad that MTV decided to stop making it, but the good news is, it's not news yet, but the hopeful good news is that now that we have the show sort of back from MTV, we are in discussions to kind of really reinvent it and expand the sort of Catfish world.
No way! That's
actually
news.
Big news.
Huge
still a
news.
Dream. We're still in the works. Nothing to report, but we're hoping that we can figure out a way to really sort of breathe new life into the show and expand it.
Have you said that publicly anywhere yet?
I mean, I've talked about wanting to keep making the show, but there's forward movement. We're heading in the right direction.
Love that.
Did you ever get, because obviously you're walking down the street and everybody knows who you are because of Catfish, did you ever get any fans of the show that made recommendations for you? You had to have gotten hundreds of people saying, please do this.
Yeah, I mean, almost every day I would get a message or an email from either someone who had a good idea for a show or who had a story that they felt should be on the show. So and that's actually how the whole thing started. I mean, I had no ambitions to host a reality show. The documentary came out and people just started emailing me and sending me messages and coming up to me and saying, oh my God, I saw your story. It feels like it's a lot like could be my story. What do I do? And so the show really came out of the outpouring from the public about Catfish scenarios that were taking place that no one had ever been talking about. So yeah, that's kind of how we all got started.
Well, you did such a great job with that show, and I'm very excited to hear what you said about moving forward. Now, I have followed you in social media for a long time, and I saw you started to talk about real estate. Are you really going into real estate?
Yeah. So I've been around real estate my whole life. Obviously just living in New York City, you can't avoid it. But my father's been a broker for over 50 years. My grandfather was a real estate developer and did a lot to really transform neighborhoods and build some beautiful housing communities and golf courses. And it's just sort of always been in my family. My aunt is a broker. Both my aunts are brokers. So when we stopped filming Catfish last year and I had some time to sort of reassess the next sort of move in my career path, I thought working with my dad would be great. It's always something I've been interested in. So I got my license and I'm working with my dad. Of course, I've become much busier now with entertainment stuff and TV show stuff than I thought I was going to be because, that's just sort of the nature of the business. Right. But it's a nice thing to be doing with my dad and as whenever I can and be helpful and work with people. And I have a lot of great friends who are hopefully in the market to buy and sell homes in the next few years. So yeah, it's something that I love, and it's a fun extra thing to be doing.
Man, I am fascinated with New York real estate. I lived there for 3 years. Can you help me on some rental properties? And no, I'm kidding.
I mean, it's crazy.
It's out of control.
The rent is too damn high. I will admit. But we're all curious to see kind of how things go now with this new mayor. We'll see, but hopefully everything works out and affordability becomes a more realistic for people.
Now, you had kind of a near-death experience, I think, and I think at one point the doctors had said to you, you might never walk again.
Yeah, well, so...
Are you comfortable talking about that?
Sure. And it's a great segue into our special guest.
Yes.
Last year, shortly after we stopped filming Catfish, not knowing if we would be starting again, I just was on a normal sort of e-bike ride out in Long Island, going to pick up my kid from summer camp. And in a split second, vehicles in front of me stopped, and I didn't have a chance to slow down, and I smashed into the back of like a pickup truck. And the next thing I remember, I was being loaded into an ambulance. And it turned out, when I got to the hospital, they did a scan and saw that I had a fracture in my neck I think it was my C6. So there was a lot of concern, because that injury typically leads to paralysis. It's very common that a fracture, and specifically in that area of the neck, which primarily controls limb movement, is a big issue. So I was immediately rushed to a specialty hospital at Stony Brook. I had an emergency surgery, and by some just incredible luck, I was not paralyzed and was able to make a full recovery. But for a week there was a lot of uncertainty as to whether or not I would make a full recovery, and whether or not I'd have full, use of my limbs. So it was pretty scary.
Your posts were very scary, and it's hard to believe that you've bounced back this much in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think obviously there was some force in the universe, whether you call it God or karma or I don't know what, but something was watching over me, because, whether it was a mile an hour faster or a 1 degree of a different impact, who knows? Like, it could have made the difference. But I also think that because I was, committed to really running, which has become such an important force in my life, and I was in great shape right leading up to the accident. That happened in August, and that November last year, I actually ran the New York City Marathon. Wow. It was tough, but having running as this motivational force in my life, and this hugely important physical and mental health device,
right,
was really what got me back out and got me back on my feet, and changed. Yeah,
wow, what a story.
Are you 100%? You're better, right? Or is there still some...
I am. I still have just like some lingering neuropathy in my hands, but
Man, you were blessed. Well, that is the perfect lead-in. We have a very special guest to introduce you to when we come back that was just with Neve running a marathon. And we're with Neve Shulman, formerly of Catfish, but sounds like soon to be with another Catfish again, which I don't know. Sounds good. We'll be right back. This is The Morning X, and this is 99X.
What's up, guys? David Pollack here, former Georgia Bulldog, former analyst with College Game Day, and host of my new show, See Ball, Get Ball. I'm a defensive lineman. That's why that's the name. You see the ball, you go get it. We're going to dive deep into college football. We're going to break down film. We'll have bold takes, real conversations with the biggest names in the sport every single week. If you eat, sleep, and breathe college football like I do, man, I promise you, See Ball, Get Ball is for you. So do me a favor. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.